and today only 8 remain as Atlanta United takes on Weston FC in the quarterfinals. I'm your host, Mark Serban. It's a pleasure to be with you as Weston FC, the number 12 seed, come in as winners of Group B, going 3-0 in those matches. Looking to continue that run here, and Bautista Hambra was the hero on match day 3, scoring the game winner against Sockers FC to take them through to the last 8. Atlanta United comes in the number 5 seed, the Southeast Division champions, with a record of 22-6-6, advanced through Group A, going 2-0-1, and Jackson Conway has been a big reason why the U.S. U-16 international has 30 goals in 26 games played this season. So it's Atlanta United versus Weston. It's an all Southeast Division rivalry, and a ticket to the last 4 is on the line. We'll have the kickoff for you right after this. We're all set for kickoff between Atlanta United and Weston FC. It's an all-Southeast battle for a place in the Final Four and championship weekend next month in Kansas City. Mark Serba alongside Danielle Diavanzo. And Danielle, this is going to be a really good match. These two teams have met twice already, know each other well, and the first time it was Weston FC who came out on top. Second time, a 0-0 draw.
Well, you can look at it 2 ways. Either Atlanta's starting to figure out Weston, and this may be their time to finally get the win, or Weston may say, you know what, we let you get the 0-0 tie there. Now we know what to do to improve and get another win on the board.
A quarterfinal battle between two foes who know each other well. Atlanta United in their traditional jerseys, in their final huddle. They will be attacking to your right. Weston FC, they're in all white. They'll be attacking to your left. Is this an Atlanta side that won the Southeast Division, going 22-6-6 in the regular season, and then navigated their way through Group A, a 0-0 draw with Bardar, a 2-1 win over BW Gachi, and a 3-2 win over Real Salt Lake on the final day. A good look at your referee, J.C. Griggs, out of the D.C. Virginia Association, is the man in the middle. That is Selma Perez, a veteran of the USL, the assistant referee number 1 out of Cal South. Diego Blas out of Texas South, assistant referee number 2 on the far side. And the woman in between the benches is Adriana Contreras as the 4th official. Roger Freitas will get us underway. One of these teams 90 minutes and maybe extra time away from Kansas City. And it's Atlanta who wrestle the ball away in the early going. Fast start's so important. Danielle, we saw 22 seconds into the second half, Seattle scoring to make that game 3-1, and that really turned the tide of the match.
For them, once they got that 3-1 lead, scoring less than 30 seconds into the second half, you saw Columbus kind of drop a little bit with their energy, with their confidence, and they were able to just Seattle was able to, take advantage of that the entire game and hold on and get that 3-1 win and punch their ticket to Kansas City.
Well, can either of these sides find an early goal here? It's Atlanta in possession. It's this one inside to Conway. As we said in pregame, 30 goals in 26 appearances, including 3 hat tricks and a brace in that 2-1 win over BW Gachi. As this one will come all the way back for Vicente Florio, getting his 28th appearance in goal, Florio. And he'll take his time and guide it out wide. Atlanta United without Kendall Edwards this afternoon, but still so many players who can hurt you in so many different ways for this Atlanta United side that had tied for the 6th best defense in the regular season with 85 goals. Now have 91 on the year if you add the playoffs. Musenden, number 6, who's a very good number 6 for this Weston side. Him and Vasquez play as the holding midfielders. Musenden does more of the dirty work, which allows Vasquez to venture forward. But they're on the defense here. Atlanta coming down the far side. Oh, it's a silky run in. Player goes down. Referee says nothing doing.
It was Jabong there just trying to get inside the box, looking for that foul. Wasn't called though. But Atlanta's still in the attack, trying to force Weston to be able to clear that ball out.
This will be a goal kick. Two teams met first on November 12th. Weston running out 4-3 winners, and then a 0-0 draw on April 7th. So it'll be a goal kick for Rafael Glacier, the Brazilian who's been with the club since 2015. His favorite team in Brazil are Santos. And it'll be a free kick in a very dangerous position for Atlanta United. It was Jabong getting forward.
That's twice now Jabong has gone forward and the Weston defense has been able to commit a foul. First time around, I think this early in the game, you really don't want to give a penalty that early, so we kind of let it slide. The second time around outside the box, that's where he says, all right, I'm going to give a call now.
Tony Annan telling Zuniga to get off that ball so Jackson Conway can get over this free kick. 4 players for Conway to find in the box. Now a 5th joining. Conway played it in low. Conway skies to win the header, but it will go out for a goal kick for Weston FC. Team that came in off the back of a 2-0 win over the Baltimore Armor in match day 1. Followed that up with a 3-2 win over Oakwood on match day 2, and a dramatic come-from-behind victory, which you saw right here on USSoccerDA.com against Soccers FC a few days ago. Intercepted in midfield. Suzuki will get the return ball, and he'll get it out wide. McDonald on the far side. He's looking to get forward. And he'll smartly play it back. And Atlanta will recycle their runs in the 5th minute. This one to the near side. And it'll be a throw-in for Weston FC.
You see the idea there. He was looking to switch it over one line into the other, hitting his target player. It looked like McDonald was pushing up to try to get up that right flank. Just the ball went a little bit too far on their end.
Morales will take the throw-in, and he'll get it back to Glacier. Where's Rafael on his jersey? Henry will send it clear. Zuniga winning it, and this is inside for Francombe. A Welsh U-16 international, Francombe. Robbins tried to push it into the path of Conway, just beyond him, and it rolls into Glacier, who will pick it up, and he'll roll it out to Henry.
We saw the idea there, and Conway, as he was cutting across, saw went just behind his foot, and he couldn't grab it, put his head up. He was frustrated that he couldn't just get that touch there. But there's the idea there where Conway likes to make those parallel and then curl out right at the split second, so he stays on side, and he's going to look to try to get between those 2 center backs, Serrano and Henry, today.
Well, Jabong did well to win that on the far side, and Atlanta will work out of the back. This is George Campbell. He's trained with the first team. He'll play his college ball at the University of Maryland. Be a throw in on the far side for Weston. Atlanta advanced to these quarterfinals on a 90th minute goal to win the third match against Real Salt Lake. Scored by Kendall Edwards, who's not in the lineup today. It's good high pressure from Weston and they win it. It's Morales who's chasing. No foul, says the referee, and this is Batista Hambra trying to slide it through for Freitas. He goes down. Freitas is thriving around on the ground in pain, but the referee says play on. As Vincent Florio will dribble it up to the top of his box and play it off. Freitas is a real danger. 16 goals in 33 games played. Also had the assist on the game-winning goal that was scored by Batista Hambra against Sockers FC.
The last time these two teams faced off, or I should say, excuse me, 2 times ago back in November 2nd, Freitas was the one that was able to score the first goal for Weston and get their offense going.
This is Mejia. Mejia was able to get by Delgado with the ball, but not himself. He does win a free kick. And it will be taken by Vasquez. Vasquez very deadly on set pieces. Danielle, you always expect these to be floated towards the penalty spot or the back corner of the 6. That's where they're looking. It was a lovely weighted ball, but it's well defended by Atlanta.
A great read by the Atlanta defense. It looked like there were 3 guys there. Any one of them could have headed that ball away.
Staunch defending at the top of the box from Atlanta United. And they'll send it clear. Frank Combe lost out on the far side, but Atlanta United will maintain possession in the 8th minute as this one comes back for Florio. Long ball asking Conway to chase. Henry will pop it back to his keeper. And Glacier will get it out wide. Morales wants it on the touchline, and he gets it. That was a good first move to try and get past Robbins, who commits the foul. Just that little push and burst of speed by him, and Robbins saw the ball get past him and said the man's not going as well.
And once again, just trying to slow the play down, allowed his team to get back and reposition into their shape, and they're trying to squeeze that ball out early in this attacking third and try to counter quick.
Well, Conway did almost pick it off as Henry sends it downfield. Tellez chasing on the far side. And him and Freitas will conspire to win a throw-in for Weston in the 10th minute.
Campbell there looking like just trying to clear the ball out of danger, get his team to reset once again.
Vasquez twisting, turning, laying it off on the far side. It'll be another free kick for Weston. And I know it's early days, but how many of these before the referee gives a yellow?
We'll see. I think he's looking to try to find the player now just to talk with them and give them a formal warning. You know, a lot of early things we're seeing. It looks like they're just reaching a little bit, just a step maybe too slow or maybe just a step too late. And that's what's causing them to commit the foul rather than time it correctly and connect with the ball and get the clean defensive stop.
6 lined up across the top of the box for Weston. The header clear. Conway smacks it forward. And Robbins wins the throw-in. Looks like he wanted to take it quickly. McDonald will take it. Forward for Conway. Flicks it on for Robbins. He's beaten to it. One back by McDonald. Good work for McDonald, who's committed to Furman University. Well, Conway and a few of these other Atlanta United players were on the side that won the U-15-16 title last year in Los Angeles. He's looking to get back to the Final Four, this time in Kansas City, and bring his new friends with him, Conway.
It's an amazing feat that their first year in existence, they're able to win a title.
Did it in unbelievable fashion, too. Game-winning goal scored by a certain man named Andrew Carlton. Of course, now is with the first team.
Again, just shows how this development academy is looking to be a feeder system, whether it's to the actual national team pools or to the MLS sides, or in the women's side, the NWSL. Just a lot of talent being developed, and hopefully we'll look to continue to grow the game in the U.S.
It was Conway, Campbell, McDonald, and Edwards who all lifted the trophy last year at what was then the 15-16 level. And Atlanta United have a free kick here. That side also contains Zion Jones, who now plays with Schalke in Germany. Atlanta United's free kick. Well, the runners broke, and the taker backed off, so they'll have to do it again. Now the approach comes in. The back header means that there still could be something on here for Atlanta United. This is Rios. Rios had a go. Glacier claims it at his near post.
It's a great job by Rios to clean up that ball, touch it back, combined with Robbins, and that first touch exploding out, penetrating that line and getting towards the box to give him that shot. Beautiful play there by Rios.
One back by Robbins. Delgado. And it's Delgado again. I love players in the center like Delgado who find the ball, pass it, and then sprint right toward it to get it back and find the next pass. And this time he's brought down, and he'll get a free kick for Atlanta United.
It's one of those players that are almost like the little work engine, or they're just the power of the wheel that keeps turning and just providing that energy needed and being the connecting piece then between the flanks, the center, and back up top.
Suzuki gets it out wide. Push forward for Delgado, launches it in the box, Conway arriving, and it's off of him last, so it'll be a goal kick for Weston. Conway already has 3 goals in these playoffs. As Conway, Campbell, and Edwards have all already trained with the MLS side. As you take a look at Conway taking a spill there as he attacked that ball.
Conway right now, as you mentioned, he has 3 goals in 3 games. He's averaging a goal a game, and you can see that he's kind of that centerpiece, that target player right now, the true 9 that they're trying to play the ball into. And a couple times he's making a lot of these runs, and you see afterwards he's looking a little frustrated right now, wanting that ball at his feet or wanting that ball into the space where he can try to penetrate to goal.
Suzuki steps past one challenge, slides by another. Gets it out wide. That ball slid in and looking for the run of Delgado, but it will go all the way through for Glacier.
A great run there by Suzuki, and great job to maintain possession while he was under pressure, recognizing where the player was and shifting the ball just ever so slightly to avoid it and continue to push forward.
Suzuki wins the header. Been impressed with Zuniga's willingness to get forward down that left-hand side from his outside back position for Atlanta United. As Glacier will clear. And it's won by Batista Hambra. Henry tried to pop it over the top and frustrated with himself, but it was a good idea. Will be a throw in for Zuniga on the far side. Forward for McDonald. Ball spins away. Clips it toward the back post. Glacier gets there first.
That was a beautiful quick switch ball, and you saw McDonald taking off, looking for that ball, and Campbell there picking his head up and playing that ball in, giving themselves an opportunity to try to create something up top.
Henry. Glacier Pushes it away from Jackson. Forward for Vasquez. Be a throw-in on the far side for Weston FC in the 16th minute. Freitas, good hold-up play from him. Flag stays down. Pumped in, Mejia's there. Got a piece of it, but he'll be whistled for the foul.
Not sure there if he just had a little bit of a push in the back that would cause the ref to give a foul there. But again, great little combination build up from Weston to get something into the attacking third. And here's the replay again. The ball is served in, and it looks there just a little bit of a shove as the defender went to clear it away. And that's where he's going to call the foul to try to discourage that, as we've already seen this game be very physical so far.
The header was won by Soriano. Delgado's pass is intercepted. Suzuki did so well to get back. Otherwise, Freitas could have been played through. And in the end, the foul is against Weston.
Yeah, Ambra, though, that the ball just got caught up a little bit too much at his feet, couldn't get it out quick enough to penetrate through and get that quick transition play up top, trying to target Freitas, who had the one-on-one if the ball was played just a little bit quicker.
There'll be a throw for Morales. Making his 35th appearance of the season, the Davie, Florida native. McDonald. Conway. Cleared by Henry. Bought down by Hambra. Nice little skill from Campbell.
A great clearance there by Henry, just locking that foot, or playing that out, or maybe it was Soriano, my apologies, Soriano there, just being able to use the inside of his foot, clear that ball out, and break that line of defense to be able to get forward quicker.
This is Francombe. Morales will let it roll out for a throw-in. Good look at assistant referee Selma Perez, who's done a lot of Orange County Soccer Club games in the USL. Glacier's clearance. Oh, really hung up in the air. Delgado. He steps into one. Rafael gets across his line to make the save.
One of those there, again, with the wind being as it is, you're seeing a lot of those balls that are trying to be lofted, just getting hung up and caught. And that's where if you want to play those longer balls, you want to try to make it more driven. So that way it gets to the target a bit quicker and doesn't get broken up by the wind or taken in the wrong direction.
Jabong battling for it on the far side. It'll be a free kick for Weston FC, so this one will be put back into play on the ground. This is Francombe who was chasing. And he did clatter into the leg of the Weston defender on the far side. A bit of an awkward ball back, but Florio was able to deal with it. Morales beat Robbins to the punch, but it will be Atlanta United's ball. McDonald unable to keep it in. Thrown for Weston and Morales. Just past 20 minutes gone. It's been a very tight affair. What have you seen so far, Danielle?
In both teams right now, I still feel they're trying to get a feel for not only the pitch, but also the wind and all the other factors, and just trying to feel each other out as well. You can tell that these teams, You can see the rivalry between them. They're very physical. They seem to be familiar with each other. And this is going to be more like a chess match, I think, today. It's just who can find that gap first and be able to beat both keepers, who both keepers have been doing very well so far with reading the play in front, coming out when they need to, or sitting home and making the saves.
Well, Delgado's down, clutching his leg. As Atlanta get back to their keeper. And that's why Florio's holding on to the ball, saying, hey, Delgado's down, but now Delgado gets up. So Florio will play it out wide. Zuniga flights it over the top. Pushed on by Francombe on the wrong side of Jackson. Lucendon tried to slide it through. Freitas has a long way to go to get to it. Henry wins the header over Jackson.
A little bit of a dangerous back pass there, but it shows you how confident they are in Florio's ability to come out and use his feet. I mean, if you have a keeper that you're a little shaky with, you don't play that ball. So that really shows how confident they are with Florio's play.
McDonald. Forward for Jackson Conway, but just couldn't get on the end of it as it took a deflection and went the wrong side of him. But McDonald, the outside right back for Atlanta United, 12 goals. Usually you think about outside backs getting forward and getting assists off crosses, but he plays like a certain Real Madrid forward in Marcelo, who can also get inside and score goals.
It's one of those where you love to see your outside backs get into the attack. You want to give them that extra man that can come in and be almost unnoticed at first, either making an overlapping run or on the corner kicks. Can he be very good with the aerial and be able to get a body on it?
When you think about defenders scoring from corner kicks, you usually think center backs. McDonald able to do it all. As fair challenge says the referee, and the space is opened up for Jabong on the far side. Has Conway in the middle. Francombe is at the top of the box as well. He waits for the overlap. And this ball fizzed across. It will roll all the way out for a throw in for Weston. And that player is still down on the far side.
So Cubeto is back up now and is okay, but that, again, quick transition up. They took advantage of that space and the great overlapping run there from Zuniga. Just that ball coming across, nobody was there on the receiving end, unfortunately for them, but it's the right idea. Can we switch and attack that far post option?
This is McDonald. Suzuki. The referee's letting them play here, and Hambra's off and running. This is Batista Hambra. Inside for Freitas. Oh, gorgeous ball slipped through. Unable to direct his shot on target was Tellez. Great job from Tellez, though, to cut inside, to get on the end of that pass, played through by Freitas. So often we talk about Freitas as the goal man, but he's really shown in these playoffs his ability to pick out a pass as well.
Let's say Freitas there was sitting back a bit, and he recognized that I don't have as good of a shot. Let me try to play it in to Tejas, who's making that diagonal run in front of me, and just lay it off and try to get that shot off. Ball just got taken a little bit too high there, but that's the idea of getting those runs in, and the quick counters where Hambra wins that tackle and penetrates forward quickly.
Well, Weston have shown that they can beat you on the break. Delgado. Out wide for Francombe. Cleared forward for Jackson Conway to chase. Well defended by Henry. Weston flying up the far side. And the move quickly closed down by Zuniga.
I think you saw there, they recognized that a couple of those players, especially Freitas, was too far ahead, was getting too excited about it, stepped in front, and rather than playing the ball and getting the offside, looking to just hold it back and can we get a throw in and try again.
Into the middle for Francombe. Gets it back. Long ball looking for Conway. That will be a foul on Francombe. The U-16 Weston International being told no more.
You saw Fancombe earlier in the match looking like he was butting heads with a couple of different players, so it's good for the ref there to give him the warning, just say he needs to calm down. We'll see how Fancombe can control his emotions and not let them get the best of him.
This is Henry. It's a good ball slid in. And the flag is up, so it won't count. Beautiful pass, though.
Great idea, great ball through. But Freitas, again, just getting caught. And you see the Atlanta defense is doing a great job of holding their line because they probably know Freitas at this point that he likes to get in from behind, waiting for that ball in to try to use the speed to beat you, just as you saw there. But again, just a step too early. You see the Atlanta defense being very aware of wherever Freitas is at all times. And there it is again, just a step too early.
Good finish, though.
Very good finish.
Won't count, but that's a nice finish.
Very good finish, getting some practice in.
Campbell's pass was repelled. Suzuki. Vasquez. Lovely ball for Tellez. Slipped inside, and Freitas wasn't making the run.
So that time there, Freitas held up. I think he knew he was going to get caught if he got too early. And Tellez had the right idea, trying to play it behind the line. But look, Vasquez, being able to recognize players are running in, and all that space opened up on the far side. Being able to have that awareness and recognition, just beautiful play there.
Fancombe. Robbins bumped off the ball by Morales. And he'll get it back to Rafael Glacier. It's being chased by Conway. Unable to keep it in on the far side. Another whistle was from another field. Clearance falls for Fancombe. Museni gets back to make the challenge. Another challenge from Fancombe. He was clattered into, but play goes on. Fancombe was down behind the play. Musenden sportingly helped him up. So it'll be a thrown for Morales. This referee has really let him play today, J.C. Griggs. Headed down by McDonald. Poked forward by Suzuki. Slid in for Hambra. Tries to slide it through for Tellez. And back was Rios. Tellez wins it off him. He plays it across. It's Freitas in the box. And Freitas crowded out. And Atlanta United win the free kick. But I am very impressed with the runs by Tellez coming across from that right forward position.
Oh, I agree. He's making a lot of those diagonal runs, cutting across. And there again, even though he's got the 1v1, he's able to win that challenge, play the ball in to Freitas. Freitas trying to get around, but just once the ball went in, you see, I would say he kind of dove, however you want to call it. He tried to sell it a little bit too much, and that's where you're going to get the call going the other way.
Oh, how quickly did 3 red jerseys converge on him? So it'll be a throw-in for Atlanta United. This time the free kick will go the way of Atlanta. Good battle between the number 5 seed and the number 12 seed. Teams that finished 1 and 2 in the Southwest Division. Or Southeast, I should say. Forgot my geography.
No worries, it's south, it counts, right?
As Campbell will guide it back to his keeper. Weston FC finishing just 2 points behind Atlanta United in that race for the Southeast Division title. Brought down by McDonald. The space is opened up here. Jabang plays it across. Robin's shot is blocked. And it'll be a throw-in for Atlanta United.
There's the kind of movement that Atlanta's been looking for. They go out wide, they pinch in, then they go back out wide and looking for that ball across, trying not to get two players on that same plane, trying to stagger it a bit so they have space for each player to play.
Robbins looking for space to get the cross off, wasn't given any of it. Now the cross comes in, Jabong is up. Just couldn't direct his header goalwards.
So Jabong's got the height, and then he's also got the ups to get up there and try to redirect that ball. Just turned a little bit too wide there. But again, the movement of can we get in, get out wide, and cross, looking for our big guys up top, whether it's Jabong or, as you've seen as well, Conway's able to jump up and get headers as well. It's a replay again. The ball feeded right in. Great ups, great recognition, just turned his head a little bit too wide.
Jabong getting his 22nd appearance of the season. Out of McDonough, Georgia, Jabong. And it'll be a goal kick for Rafael Glacier. Henry, back to Glacier. Good distribution from the feet of the keeper. And it starts the attack for Weston going the other way. And it'll be a free kick for Weston FC. Taken quickly. Morales is ghosted in on the far side. McDonald's over to make the clearance. But Jabong's pass is picked off by Vasquez, unable to find the target man in Freitas.
See, Vasquez is doing a great job of being able to anticipate and predict where the ball's going to go and get himself in position so he's winning it quickly and trying to transition the other way. And there we go, the yellow card. As we mentioned before, Francone getting several warnings, and he's given the card there with the foul on Vasquez.
So it'll be a free kick for Vasquez as Francone becomes the first player to go into referee J.C. Griggs' book. Vasquez too deep. And Florio elects to keep this one on the deck. He's pushing everyone forward, Florio. Was killed instantly by Conway. Incredible control before it was swept off his foot.
You can see that he's their direct player. When they try to go long, they're trying to play it to Conway. He's very good at using his body to hold the ball up and then look to distribute wide, whether it's Robbins or on the other side, Jabong making those runs, overlapping, and then trying to go back in, so in, out, in.
Suzuki wins it back. Jabong trying to go forward. Rios tried to play it over the top, but it's smartly prodded back to the keeper. Soriano to bring it out for Weston in the 35th minute. Morales bombing forward. Slipped in for Freitas. Flag stays down, it's Freitas! Unable to get by Florio.
Beautiful ball movement in there, coming up and across, and Freitas making that diagonal run, staying on side, then curling out, but Florio coming off his line, smothering that ball, great save, and way to keep his body strong to make that save and keep this a 0-0 game. And there it is, Freitas again, cutting across, tries to slip it through his legs, and Flores recognizes that, tucks his leg underneath, and is able to secure the ball. There again, another great replay angle showing that he's onside, cuts across, and Florio, great recognition, use his feet, tuck that ball in, secure it.
Great work by our camera crew. to show that angle that Freitas was in fact onside. The one thing he did there, Danielle, is he took a couple steps, almost running sideways rather than forward before he made that forward run, and that's what kept him onside.
That's where, even at the youth level, you try to teach the kids you want to delay, so you go sideways first, stay parallel, and then as that ball's being played, once the ball is touched, you can go in. So you want to delay, see the foot recognition, the visual cues, then you attack when the ball's getting in.
McDonald's gotten free here. It's a delightful ball in, and the header into the arms of Glacier, but a good chance for Atlanta United.
Again, Jabong showing off not only his height, but his ability to get up and use his head to redirect that ball. And we're seeing they're getting out wider, trying to play in, looking for Jabong to just try to put a head on it and beat Glacier.
This will be Atlanta United free kick. Weston is still confused as to why the whistle went against him. Talking about Freitas' ability to make that run across the back line before bursting through. Give a lot of credit to this Weston FC coaching staff and Kevin Nyland. His side have to defend a free kick here. This one driven in the box. Conway very nearly got his head on it.
It's a great ball in. You saw the first couple times they looked like they were trying to play the ball in that area and they just couldn't hit it right. That one is exactly what they were looking for. Driven ball in, Conway cutting across, trying to redirect it. Just a little wide there, but you see that this team is very good in the air and they're trying to take advantage of it, especially with some of the height advantages they have with these players.
Well, there was a look at the foul that led to that opportunity for Atlanta United. And this goal kick didn't go out of the box. Academy director and head coach of these U-16, 17s, Tony Annan, yelling at his forwards to stay up with those players at the edge of the box to make them send it long. And that's exactly what Glacier has to do. And now it's all about an aerial battle, which is won by Atlanta, but it will be Weston's throw-in.
As you say, balls in the air, it's 50-50. It's anybody's ball. When the ball's on the ground, you're playing defeat, that's when you know you have possession. So they're trying to build out. Atlanta's saying, let's push them high, force them to dump the ball into the middle, and can we use our advantage again in the air and win it that way?
Won by Suzuki. Back for Florio. Suzuki. Conway. Leaves it off for McDonald to get forward. Rios. Now over the top, looking for the head of Jabong. And that was a late challenge. Mejia was always going to win that ball. He won it and then thrust himself into the player. It looks like it's Francoma who's down. Now the referee, I believe, coming over to have a word with Mejia, and he's going to show him a yellow card. Mejia looks perplexed, but he becomes the second player to go into the referee's book in this first half.
Well, again, as we mentioned, this game has been very physical just from the get-go. And we're seeing now is it's still 0-0. Teams are starting to get, both teams are starting to get a little more frustrated. They want to be able to get that first goal, relieve, get a little bit of sigh of relief when you get that first goal in. And that's what they're both trying to do. So the longer that they keep this draw, the more you're going to see tempers start to rise just a little bit.
Well, Francome walking off under his own power. Hope that he's okay and able to come back into this match.
There's a collision there. It looked like he got a shoulder right into the side of his head, so I have a feeling they're going to look into maybe doing a concussion protocol with him just to make sure that he is okay before he returns, or if he has to come out, keep him out.
One of the rules I love about the U.S. Soccer Development Academy is when a player goes through concussion protocol, another player is able to come in for him, so you're not down to 10 men. And that player, if the guy going through concussion protocol is able to return to the game, that player can come back out and it won't count as a substitution.
And that's huge, especially when, you know, back when they weren't, you were have to play down 10, you're almost kind of rushing that player and saying, can you go or can you not go? I need to know. This takes that pressure off the coach to say, you know what, I can't put a player in. Take the time that is needed to find out if this player can in fact go back in or if they need to come out.
And so Rayvon McGann will come in. So we're at 11v11, even though Frank Holm is on the sidelines. Won by Suzuki. One back by Mejia. This is Vasquez. Looking for Tejas. Well shielded by Zuniga, who gets it back to his keeper. Conway coming back to win it. This is Jabong. Slides it inside. Delgado. Conway's popped up on the right-hand side. He slides it across the box. And it was a last-ditch clearance. And it'll be a free kick for Weston FC. A great job by Henry to make that clearance. Otherwise, that would have been the game's opening goal for Robbins and for Atlanta.
What I love there about that whole buildup is how quickly they were able to penetrate. Again, you hear Conway yelling for that ball, drive it, drive it, drive it. And he made that inside run, cut back out, had the space open that allowed him to cross that ball behind that back line and attempt to try to find Robbins on the far side. You saw as his latched effort trying to be able to get a body on it to get the goal. That's what they call the foul because it just comes from behind.
Rios gets there before Freitas, but it will be a throw-in for Weston FC. Final 2.5 minutes of this first half. So the captain, Vasquez, will get it back to his keeper. Intercepted by McGann. Played forward, looking for Freitas. Weston. Get it back for Henry. Tejas with a loose touch. Robbins somehow won that off of two Weston defenders. A good job getting back and shielding and winning that ball for Weston FC. And Glacier will smack it back into midfield.
As you mentioned, great defensive shielding there by Cubeto, being able to just get in front of Robbins slightly so he can hold him off and then play the ball back. You see Robbins with that speed, if you give him that space, he's just going to take off and beat you.
And the good news is that Frank Holm is okay to come back in. So Rayvon McGann will come back off, but he can re-enter the game later.
So then we'll see too, once Frank Holm starts running around for a bit, even if it's for the last minute or two, just to see how he's feeling as well, get a feel, do you feel okay, or if something may onset a little bit later, you have that option to then go back to your bench and let that player come back on and re-enter.
Soriano for Morales. Up the line for Batista Hambra. This is Mejia. Unable to step inside of Campbell. Now Campbell trying to take off. Lucendon stood him up. Frank Holm trying to play to the far side. That pass well read by Cubeto, and it's forward for Tejas. Tejas over the top looking for the late run of Hambra. It's going to skip all the way through to this near side for Mejia. Mejia working on McDonald. He swings it across, and Florio will take it off the hop.
Great effort by Mejia to be able to chase that ball down, keep it in play, and try to recycle again. Looked like he was looking for Freitas to make that diagonal run back in. Just didn't connect enough for them.
It is stoppage time. Vasquez dances around the first challenge. Over the top. Mejia's onside. That one rather getting caught in the wind, and it's easy for Florio. Florio sprinted to the top of his box, wanted someone to make a run. Wasn't happy that he still has to hold on to it. Now forward for Conway. Sent back the other way by Henry. 2 minutes of stoppage time.
Our fourth official has dedicated 2 minutes of stoppage time.
Which I'm guessing about a minute of that has elapsed. And it'll be a free kick on the far side for Weston. Soriano. Cut off by Jabong, but couldn't find the feet of Conway. In the final minute, minimum 2 of stoppage time. The referee can add more if he sees fit. Slid through. Conway turns. And Mejia is there to pick up the pieces for Weston. Gets around Delgado. Mejia. Oh, what a challenge that is from Campbell. Frank Combe coming forward. Delgado. Near side for McDonald. McDonald. Good defending by Morales, not allowing McDonald to get the cross off. Now the ball comes in, cushioned down, looking for the run of Jabong, and that will be the last action of the first half. Well, you can tell these two teams know each other well. Every move matched by a counter move,
we
and
have
it's
Atlanta
0-0 at
United
halftime.
0,
Just goes to show when you play the same team
FC
multiple
0.
times how well you can anticipate what the team is going to do. For me, I'd like to see both teams, when they win the ball, can they look to play that penetrating ball a bit quicker? At times you see the first touch is going more lateral or sometimes negative. And that's where I think if whichever team can figure out how to penetrate quicker first and be able to transition from defense to attack quicker, I think we'll be able to get the first goal in the second half.
Well, at the half of the quarterfinals, it's Atlanta United 0, Weston 0. We'll be back with you for the second half here on USSoccerDA.com. All set for the final 45 minutes of regulation and extra time if necessary between Atlanta United and Weston FC. 0-0 at the break. And 2 changes to tell you about as Daniel Mangrove checks in for Atlanta United, as does Claggett. Little Brandon Claggett comes on for his 15th appearance. Mangrove, a US U-17 Youth International, coming in for his 31st appearance of the season. As it's Robbins and Jabang who come out. So how will those 2 changes affect the game? Final 45 minutes of regulation in this U-16-17 U.S. Soccer Development Academy quarterfinal.
It's one of those where you wonder they're trying to get some more fresh legs up top. Maybe these are players that are looking to interchange with Conway maybe a bit, get some more mobility up top.
Atlanta look to be moving the ball a little bit quicker here to start this second half, and it's opened up the space on the far side. Frank Combe gets it out wide. That's a good run. The ball cut out by Soriano. Sends it forward looking for Freitas. Front and backing him were the 2 center backs for Atlanta United. And Campbell heads it forward for himself. This is George Campbell. And he'll slide it out wide. This is Mangarov. U-17 international gets it back to Campbell. Suzuki. Down the line for Conway. Jackson Conway was asking for a free kick. Instead, he's just going to get a throw in. Suzuki. Inside for Delgado. McDonald bombing forward once again. McDonald will have a crack. And it's off the back stanchion. Goal kick for Weston FC.
Well, for there, you see the Weston defense was backing up, allowing McDonald to get forward. So we figured, why not take a crack at it?
Wasn't a bad effort. If it's on frame, it's testing the wits of Glacier. That ball too far ahead of Freitas. Right idea, though. Florio puts it on the floor. Into the middle for Suzuki. Inside for Mangarov. Delgado. Ups it on for Francombe. Francombe has a rip.
Right away, you can see the substitutions going in, more specifically Mangarov being able to check away, then check into that space, being an option in the middle, finding that gap that's in the middle between Habra, Musanen, and Vasquez, finding that hole and then being able to get the ball back out. And that's where you're seeing that change coming in, where you weren't getting that as much earlier in the first half with that movement off the ball.
Well won back by Tejas. Hambra helps it onto Tejas. This cut out by Campbell. Rio spins, gets back to Campbell. He's under heavy pressure, but is able to get it forward for Mangarov. Bought down by Conway, and he wins the free kick. Looks like a player may have caught a wayward arm or elbow to the face. It's Kuberu. Kuberu in his second season in the academy with Weston FC. Come over to get checked on. And so now it'll be a change for Weston FC. Will Kuberu goes through the concussion protocol. Take a look. There's the foul for Conway, and well, I guess it was in that tussle with Conway. Kuberu got caught.
Looks like he just got maybe elbowed a bit in it or just got hit a little bit too hard, so they're just checking him out there. And when he's coming over here, you see he's just got a little bit of a red mark right near his temple, which is where it could be dangerous and why they need to take him out for a moment just to make sure he's okay.
Conway won the header, but nobody was making a diagonal run behind him. This is Conway again. Leaves it off for Delgado. The ball movement just seems much crisper for Atlanta United to begin this second half. It slid inside. Little layoff. That ball is lacking the necessary pace, and it's won back by Weston in the 51st minute. Soriano clears. Mejia brings it down. Match step by step by McDonald. Inside for Suzuki.
Great cut and turn by McDonald there. A little bit of a deception to bring it back to Suzuki. And now you see the high pressure that Freitas is going to apply with anything, just trying to see if he can put that pressure, get a touch on the ball, maybe do redirect it, anything at this point, just to try to win the ball back quickly.
Hambra spins. Inside for Francombe. Put his foot on the ball and get it back. Zuniga on the overlap. Mangrove has options. Picks out Zuniga. Into the channel for Delgado. And Good defending as Henry came over to cut off the run of Delgado in the channel.
Yeah, that touch by Mangrove as that ball came across was phenomenal there, just to settle that ball and be able to keep playing it wide with the overlapping run coming in from Zuniga.
Glacier asking for options. Oh, Kubetu's gone through the protocol, and he's going to re-enter this match. It's good to see that Kubetu can continue. And so back off comes Panuzio. This ball in for Hambra. 3 players converge on him, it's out. And Mejia will want that one back.
Mejia was in the right spot, got that ball fed to him. Again, just leaning a little too far back. But on the flip side, you see the Atlanta defense, as that ball was played in, you had 3 players surrounding the ball. It's just they were very fortunate on their part that when they left Mejia's wide open, that he didn't take advantage of that and put that in.
Alhambra did a great job to poke it into the path of Mejia. Might have even had time to take a touch to settle himself.
Maybe at that point, well, this defense that we've seen has been able to shift very quickly, very well. And that's where you see Hambra made that beautiful run in, and right away, 3 players surrounding him trying to squeeze that ball out.
Rios. Delgado. Francone, bit of a loose touch. Able to get there is Campbell. And there's space on the far side for McDonald. And this will be a free kick for Atlanta United, as it's Mangarov who's causing problems once again.
You see Mangrove being able to shift over. He starts on that left side, but he's able to cut in, and he's trying to get an overload almost on that right, leaving it open for Zuniga or somebody else to make that overlapping run into that far space. And that's what I think they're going to try to do. Can they overload one side, force the Weston defense to shift all the way over and have someone open on that far post?
It's a free kick for Atlanta United in the 54th minute. It's Suzuki who's over it. Born in Japan, now lives in Peachtree, Georgia, Suzuki. And now Francone looks like he's going to come over and join him, or at least have a word for him, Suzuki. McDonald sprinting over as well. And they'll play it out wide. And they'll win a corner.
Little set piece there, trying to make a deception where they're running across, forcing to try to pull the wall away and play an easy ball, slit through to the right instead to see if they can get behind that wall with a quick shot. The wall read it well, was able to deflect it. Now we've got a corner kick.
So it'll be a corner kick for Atlanta United. Just about 10 minutes gone in this second half. This will be an in-swinger from the far side. Now, 2 players are coming short. It goes long, and it's cleared away by Musendin. Pumped right back in, and Glacier will take. Tejas brings it down. Tejas gets it back to Henry. It was off of Zuniga last, so it'll be a throw for Kubetu. Suzuki spins away from the pressure. That's good movement from Suzuki. He gets the return ball. I think he tried to play that over the top and just mishit it. And now this is Musendin. Vasquez. Kubetu clips it forward for Tejas. Tejas steps inside. Flights it to the far side. It's a great ball. And the shot is blocked. Hambra continues with it. Tremendous defending from Campbell. Beautiful back heel. Cross comes in, and the volley is over.
Great opportunity there for Weston. That initial run by Hambra, ball coming in, great touch. And as you mentioned, great defending there initially from Campbell to be able to block that ball, but you got the recycle again, ball gets reserved. And he was able to get there just before the defender to try to redirect it, turn his hips around. Again, the ball just a little too high, and you see Weston's knocking on the door there. Could they just get that final touch into the back of the net instead? That's what they're hoping for as they keep trying to penetrate forward quickly.
It's really one of the hardest skills when the ball's bouncing like that is to get your knee over it on that volley.
Exactly, especially where he's got a defender on his back. So trying to reposition himself while holding off the defender and getting his leg up and over and down rather than trying to connect midair. It's always difficult, but you see there he's able to get his body on it. Next time around, who knows, he may be able to get it on frame.
Suzuki wins it again. Conway with a touch off for Frank Holm. That'll be a goal kick for Weston FC in the 58th minute. Conway was frustrated. He wanted that ball played in his feet in the middle. Instead, it went down the line. It was a good effort to chase it, but unable to win the corner kick in the end.
It was a great effort. You saw he's sliding, trying to just get his body on it or just get a foot to redirect it back in the middle for a waiting Campbell. And it was I thought it was a good idea playing out that wide flank because if anything, can you get there and try to cut in? But Campbell, as you mentioned, he's looking for the ball at his feet. He just seems to be their go-to guy and wants to be the go-to guy.
Header won by Conway. And a yellow card will be shown to Musenden.
That there, his foot went up a little too high. That's where he's going to get the yellow.
Frank Holm telling the trainer to stay off, that he's all right.
Well, it's the same player again where he got hit again in the head once before. Here it is, his foot's gonna go up, hits him in the face again. So there's the high kick with the yellow, but because he's already been in concussion protocol before, that's where the trainer's gonna be called upon again because they need to check him off to make sure he's okay. Frank Holm, on the other hand, he doesn't wanna come off the field. He wants to say he's fine, just let me play.
Well, because the trainer was waved on, Frank Holm is allowed to stay on the field.
Here's another angle here. Foot goes up, smacks him right in the face. Again, that's an easy yellow for the referee to give to Museden there.
Played in, there was a collision at the top of the box. And this time it's Conway who's called for the foul. He's getting frustrated, Conway.
Yeah, you're starting to see it, and he's been physical all game, and as he's getting more and more frustrated that he's not getting a goal, you're going to see it transpire when he's trying to grab players and do anything he can to get a goal-scoring opportunity for himself.
Vasquez spins back and gets it to Henry. Cubeto thought that he was grabbed. I think the referee didn't call a foul because they're still in possession, but it's one back on the far side by Atlanta United. Quickly overtaken by Weston. And Campbell will bring it down in the midfield. Mangarov's making the run inside. Delgado will get it outside to Zuniga. Zuniga puts a dangerous ball across and just missing it was Claggett on the far side. Now it's Weston's turn to come forward. Into the middle for Vasquez. Spins away from Mangarov. We'll get it out to Cubeto. Cubeto eating up the ground in front of him. Tellez turns and has a hit. That shot always rising.
So you saw Freitas there making a run in and then coming back out to his right. That opened up the space there for Tellez to be able to get that ball. Beautiful turn on his part and then being able to fire that shot off. You see Weston just keep going a little bit too high. Just get your chest over the ball, get a little bit lower, and they'll start to see more shots on frame. And here's a replay of Atlanta on their side of the ball, playing that ball across. And as you mentioned, it was Clagan trying to slide in again on that back post, getting a body on it. We're seeing him quite a bit, giving that energy coming off the bench into the second half.
It was a delicious ball played in from Zuniga, wasn't it?
The whole buildup was beautiful to watch as they went from one side to the other, starting in the back from Campbell, being able to win that ball and switch the point of attack and go the other way, overlapping Zuniga, finding him overlapping and playing that ball across one time.
Now space is open up on the far side. Campbell coming over across and cover. And Campbell showing his strength as he bottles the runner off the ball and gets back to his keeper. And then Campbell makes another clearance. Henry steps in. Mangrove wins it off of him, but it falls right to Musendin, who gets it back to Soriano. Now Soriano stepping into the attack. Scoops it over the top. Mejia battling on the far side. And it'll be a free kick for Atlanta United. Driven forward for Conway. And this time Soriano did go over his back.
So Campbell likes to check in and post up, waiting for that ball to hit his chest or bring it down. You saw Soriano there, too aggressive, push on the back. And that's where you're going to give the call. And again, you're going to look to see a long ball being played in. I have a feeling when they try to take advantage again of their height and their ability to play in the air.
The referee telling everybody to just settle down. And now Conway has to come over to get checked on because it was a shot to the head. However, the competitor Conway saying he's fine. Doesn't want to be off even for a few seconds. But the referee sticking to the letter of the law. If it is a head injury, the player has to be checked out. And now he's allowed to come right back on. Head injury is the only time that a trainer can go on the field, and if that player is okay, the player doesn't have to come off with the trainer. On this occasion, though, Conway being called over to be checked on. So it will be a free kick for Atlanta United and another yellow card.
Again, as it's still tied 0-0, you're seeing more and more aggressive play and late tackles coming in. Just a clip there after the tackle, given the yellow card.
That's a flying challenge from Morales. Becomes the fourth player to go into the referee's book this afternoon. Free kick sent in. Glacier quickly off his line. And he'll loop it over for Vasquez. McDonald steps in front of Hambra. Hambra flew into him after he had played it. It's getting a bit contentious here. Campbell. Space for Delgado. Rolls it out wide for Zuniga. Zuniga puts in another dangerous ball, and this time Conway was able to get his head on it, but it looped over Glacier's crossbar.
We saw the first couple free kicks that Atlanta's been getting off of fouls. They've been going long. This time they opted to play short. Can they build up? They switched the point of attack where Zuniga's been left out wide. Now that we're seeing Mangrove cutting in a bit more, that's opening up the space for Zuniga, and that's where you're seeing more of these crosses getting driven in. Conway getting a head on it, just couldn't bring it down enough. I know a lot of coaches try to teach players when they head the ball, head low rather than going up, and that's where you're seeing the balls kind of deflecting higher rather than aiming low, trying to hit the opposite corner. Or sometimes players, when it's coming across the box, just send it back where it came from, but aim low.
Rios trying to get it back to his keeper. The Florio did a good job to come out and just make sure it went out for a throw-in rather than a corner kick.
Well, that one, he sent that ball way into the parking lot to make sure that they couldn't have a quick restart.
Smart thinking from Florio. And it will be a throw-in for Cubetu. Fabrizio Cubetu to take this throw-in in the 67th minute. Flicked on. And we'll roll all the way through for Florio. Wants to start it quickly. Good distribution to Claggett on the far side. Has Conway ahead of him, and stepping in front is Soriano.
Great read by Soriano there to anticipate that ball and penetrate quickly. And that's where, again, you want to see Atlanta get numbers up higher with that quick transition out. You want to see the rest of the team move forward, though, so they have that support rather than being predictable where the only option he really had there was Conway, excuse me.
Mangarov. This is Frank Holm. Back for Frank Holm. Now space for Mangarov to run. Skips by one. Steps inside of a second, leaves it off the top of the box. Goes down, no foul called. And it's taken by Musendin. Gets it out to Mejia on the far side. Well, it was a heavy challenge, but a fair one as it was all ball. McDonald steps inside. Leaves it back for Delgado. Claggett screaming for it and trying to thread it through was Delgado. As there's still a player down for Weston. And now the referee will come over and check on him. It was a very meaty challenge, but he did get all ball.
To that too, and that ball being served in. That's one of those where you sit there and Mangrove, if he didn't touch it, who knows? I think that ball would have actually gotten through to Clagan there, who's making that run behind. But on the challenge, like you mentioned, player got the ball, and that's where I think that's why he allowed it to let it play. And looks like here it could just be muscle starting to cramp as we are entering the 69th into the 70th minute of this match. High pressure, a lot of teams chasing back and forth with the possession style or having to quickly transition when you see Atlanta likes to play that long ball.
Here it was, and you can understand why Morales would be in some distress. But McDonald did get the ball. Now both teams coming over to get water, but here's what you're talking about. It's that little ball played back, and, well, it was a chance right after that ball was played back to play it through. Claggett was making a run, but it was well read by the Weston defense.
That there, it looked like it was being well read. It was going through, and Mangrove maybe thought it was for him instead, so he took that touch, and that's where that touch got deflected out. Whereas if he had let that just go, shield the ball, and then it go across him, that's where you wonder if Clagan would have been able to get behind and maybe get a shot off of it.
So a little break in play here in the 70th minute. This is a player down on the far side for Weston FC. Atlanta United have made 2 substitutions. It's the same original 11 for Weston. The good news is that the player is being helped up to his feet. And it's actually Mejia who took the brunt of that challenge. Morales will help Mejia off to the side.
There's a replay again. As the leg came in, it looks like maybe he just got caught a bit. And it's one of those challenges where slow-mo always makes it look worse than
well,
what
anytime,
it may be.
too, that the leg is extended.
That's
so
always
even
tough.
though it gets the ball, but the leg's already extended in that kicking motion, it's going to be really uncomfortable. But we hope that Mejia's okay.
So I hope that he'll be able to return. Training staff doing the job, trying to check it out. Looks like he's taking a look at his ankle there, where that looked like it may have rolled as he was going into the tackle because he had his foot extended, goes to hit the ball, and you see the player sliding in. That type of energy going against where he was going, I think may have caused his ankle to tweak just a little bit.
There's going to be a substitution. We just don't know if it is for Mejia. But Panuncio is going to check in. Juan Panuncio, the Argentine who joined in 2015, makes his way onto the field. And it looks like he switched sides with Tejas, so I believe that sub will be for Mejia, as nobody else came off. And Mejia is being checked on over on the far boards.
What's unfortunate there, you saw when he was trying to get up, he looked like he really had trouble putting pressure on it too, which is a shame because he was having such a good game as well.
Thrown for Atlanta United in the 72nd minute. Will either side find the breakthrough, or will we have an extra 30 minutes in Oceanside? Last game between these two teams ended 0-0.
So you beat me to it. I was going to say on April 17th, they ended in a 0-0 draw. We'll see if they end up having this 0-0 result at the 90th minute, or will one of the teams be able to break through finally and get something on the board?
Mangaroff. Conway at the top of the box. It took a deflection on its way through. It'll be a corner kick for Atlanta United. Mangaroff has been a live wire since coming on for Atlanta.
He's been buzzing all throughout this half, where he's constantly checking in and out, providing options, switching the field, being an option in the middle, and then checking back out wide. And the same thing can be said for Clagan as well, providing a lot of energy on that opposite side where you see the attack's been revived.
Well, two players come short every single time, and the ball's driven in, doesn't beat the defender at the near post. And that will be a free kick. Batista Hambra screaming for a yellow card, and Delgado will get it.
So he was just waiting for it at that point where he's gotten warned before, and with the push and the disruption of the quick counterattack, he knew that had to be a yellow coming that way.
Now 5 players in the book. Delgado, that was really the only way he was going to stop that counterattack from Batista Hambra. Soriano, loose touch taken over by Claggett, shows too much of it to Soriano, who's able to get it back to his keeper. Glacier launches it forward, looking for the run of Panunzio, and the Argentine just unable to keep it in.
So one of those there, you hear the Atlanta bench, anytime the ball goes back to Glacier, can they squeeze? Can they try to push that pressure and force them to play it long in hopes that they could win that aerial ball, bring it back down, and go the other way?
Shielded out of bounds for a throw-in. As we enter into the 75th minute of this quarterfinal. It's been a cagey affair between Atlanta United and Weston FC. The two sides neck and neck throughout the season. Atlanta United just edging them to the Southeast Division title by 2 points. And that despite losing the first game 4-3 against them and then drawing the second one 0-0. Shows you how evenly matched these teams are. As this one played through, and what an important touch that was from Suzuki. It will be a corner kick, but otherwise it would have been a breakaway for Weston FC.
Oh, that was great tracking by Suzuki, getting himself positioned there and sliding just in the nick of time to deflect it, pushing it away from the goal, and not allowing 2 players that were in the box to be able to get a touch on there.
Would you believe it? It's Weston FC's first corner kick of the game.
And there it is again. The replay there of Suzuki recognizing he's got a player coming up behind him on his left, a player ahead of him. He's got to do whatever he can to deflect that ball out and slow it down.
Corner kick. It's a good ball. It's begging to be hit. And it's saved. And now Henry will be called for the foul. Turned around and screamed, I didn't touch him, but referee disagrees.
Referee says otherwise and is awarding a free kick, as that was Zuniga that went down on that play. And off that corner you saw on that back post, a player who just checked in was able to settle it down, take a touch, try to play it in. Florio read it well and was able to just deflect the ball right away, position himself at the right moment, push that ball off to the side and out of danger.
It was Panunzio who shot it. Florio got down well at his near post. And it'll be another free kick for Atlanta United. Zuniga has gotten forward well in the second half after staying at home for the majority of the first. He's put in some delightful crosses as well, Zuniga. This time has to go back with it. Suzuki beautifully let it run for Delgado. Now played forward looking for Conway. Henry wins the first ball and the second, and then is bought down by Mangarov.
See, Henry is doing a great job of reading where the ball is going and being able to beat out Campbell, who we already know is a very physical player and is not afraid to use his strength and body to his advantage. But Henry's been doing a real good job of coming in and winning those balls first, or just getting a step ahead to be able to push that ball away.
Diego Lopez is receiving his final instructions from Tony Annan. So expect number 57 to check in soon for Atlanta United. And the high press from Weston wins the ball back in midfield. It's Kubetu's throw-in. It's now Diego Lopez walks to the scorer's table. Referee says play on. Ball played into the path of Conway. And Conway couldn't skip past the double team. As the player still down, and Atlanta United will sportingly play it out of bounds. As it's Kubetu who's down. It was another really meaty challenge, with the referee saying that the Atlanta United defender got the ball. Take a look here, and did show a little too much of it, and so both players were extended to stretch. The referee saying that it was a fair challenge from Delgado. Kubetu able to get up.
But so far, he's looking a little bit better off than what we saw earlier, that tackle that forced Mejia to come out. So at least we could see he's walking on his own accord, being able to work it out. That's where you just don't know, where the two players colliding in. Maybe his ankle got caught up somewhere, just a little tweak. But it's good to see that he's able to up and move again.
So Kubetu walking, but walking a little gingerly. Looks to be all right. The referee telling him that because the trainer came out, he has to come off. And now here comes the substitute for Atlanta United, as it is Delgado who comes out, and on comes Diego Lopez. Marietta, Georgia native, is a U-17 international, has trained with Atlanta United 2 this year. Oh, what a player to bring off the bench for Tony Annan and Diego Lopez.
Looks like Lopez is shifting into that back line, or switching up top to the far side now, where it almost looks like they've got two forwards adding in more to the attack in their hopes of trying to push forward and get a goal off quickly.
Into the final 10 minutes of regulation between Atlanta United and Weston FC. In a game of few chances. These teams have really canceled each other out through the first 80 minutes. Can either side find the breakthrough, or will we need extra time in Oceanside? So over the top looking for Zuniga. Ball falls for Mangarov. Mangarov bought down by Henry.
You can see 2-3 players making runs off the ball, looking for Mangarov to play that ball through, but he was fouled there, so they're going to get the free kick opportunity again.
Suzuki wanted to take it short. And now he's going to look to tease this one into the mix. That was not 10 yards. The play goes on. Mangarov will leave this throwing off for Zuniga. Gets it back. Cleared away by Henry. Into the corner for Lopez to chase. And shielding it out of bounds is Cuberu. So it'll be a goal kick for Rafael Glacier. It's Mejia being helped over to the bench from the far side. Was replaced by Panuncio. One player's name who we haven't said, Danielle, is Freitas. Atlanta have done a great job of cutting off the supply lines to him.
So at this point, Freitas has barely even touched the ball, if any, at this point. As you mentioned, a great job on the Atlanta defense to take him out of the picture and force everybody else on Weston to...
Mangarov's cross. And a heavy challenge behind, and a yellow card will come out. Well, the cross had already been played across by Mangarov before Cuberu flew into him. Now the trainer will come out to check on Mangarov. Well, you can tell these two teams don't like each other. It's been a lot of really heavy challenges. Well, the rivalry is real between Atlanta United and Weston FC. Nothing malicious, just came in too late.
And that's there. It's another yellow card given. At this point, we're running out of space on our sheets with how many cards that are being given off. And here there's just a late slide. It looks like he was trying to decelerate as he was turning to see where the ball is being played.
Yeah.
Just hit the player too late.
It was a yellow card, but to his credit, Cuberu did try and pull out of that challenge.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate that, again, with this type of surface too, it is a bit slick, as we've seen. So even if he's trying to decelerate, sometimes the momentum's just going to carry you off. And we've seen another player going down, but luckily he's able to get up, and it's nice to see that he is walking on his own accord. So another opportunity here for Atlanta to try to have another set piece opportunity in hopes that they can put one in the back of the net and take a 1-0 lead late in this game.
Four players bunched at the top of the box, now making their way in. Claggett tried to direct it goalwards. Instead it comes back, and not a bad idea from Francombe. Was always tailing away from goal. So it'll be another goal kick for Weston in the 85th minute.
So at this rate, we're going to have quite a bit of time being added on. So who knows how much more time we actually have left in this game.
So we're heading towards stoppage time and then extra time, unless one of these sides can find a late winner. Conway's flying in the box, cross just beyond him, and Mangarov won't get there in time to keep it in.
There's the energy there of Lopez coming on, providing that extra spark, showing off his speed and the stride that he has to be able to beat his player. Takes a touch, gets that cross off just a little bit too far ahead of Conway to be able to get ahead on it and make something out of it.
Conway, 30 goals, 3 hat tricks this season, but just like his other number 9 up top, and Freitas going the other way, he's been frustrated this afternoon. Here he is getting to the byline and winning a corner kick. Second of the half for Atlanta United.
Again, Henry doing a great job of shutting him down this half, really getting Conway more and more frustrated as Henry is just taking that extra step and saying, you do this, I'm going to counter you with this.
So it'll be a corner kick for Atlanta United. Mangarov and Claggett coming short. Played across, the header skips into the arms of Rafael Glacier. He'll roll it out. Tellez on the far side. Into the middle for Musendin. Musendin spinning back with it, and this is Soriano. One back by Atlanta United. Lopez flights it in the corner, looking for the run of Claggett.
So Claggett, they're doing a great job to just poke the ball away, get it open, get it to Lopez, just the ball back. A little bit too much power on that ball.
One back by McDonald on the far side. This is Mangarov. Ball driven into the top of the box. The header bounces. Looking for the run of Panunzio. And the Argentine just unable to keep it in.
So one of those there, you hear the Atlanta bench, anytime the ball goes back to Glacier, can they squeeze? Can they try to push that pressure and force them to play it long in hopes that they could win that aerial ball, bring it back down and go the other way?
Shielded out of bounds for a throw-in. As we enter into the 75th minute of this quarterfinal. It's been a cagey affair between Atlanta United and Weston FC. The two sides neck and neck throughout the season. Atlanta United just edging them to the Southeast Division title by 2 points. And that despite losing the first game 4-3 against them and then drawing the second one 0-0. Shows you how evenly matched these teams are. As this one played through, and what an important touch that was from Suzuki. It will be a corner kick, but otherwise it would have been a breakaway for Weston FC.
Oh, that was great tracking by Suzuki, getting himself positioned there and sliding just in the nick of time to deflect it, pushing it away from the goal, and not allowing two players that were in the box to be able to get a touch on there.
Would you believe it? It's Weston FC's first corner kick of the game.
And there it is again, the replay there of Suzuki recognizing he's got a player coming up behind him on his left, a player ahead of him. He's got to do whatever he can to deflect that ball out and slow it down.
Corner kick. It's a good ball. It's begging to be hit, and it's saved. And now Henry will be called for the foul. Turned around and screamed, I didn't touch him, but referee disagrees.
Referee says otherwise and is awarding a free kick, as that was Zuniga that went down on that play. And off that corner you saw on that back post, a player who just checked in was able to settle it down, take a touch, try to play it in. Florio read it well and was able to just deflect the ball right away, position himself at the right moment, push that ball off to the side and out of danger.
It was Panunzio who shot it. And Florio got down well at his near post. And it'll be another free kick for Atlanta United. Zuniga has gotten forward well in the second half after staying at home for the majority of the first. He's put in some delightful crosses as well, Zuniga. This time has to go back with it. Suzuki beautifully let it run for Delgado. Now played forward, looking for Conway. Henry wins the first ball and the second, and then is bought down by Mangarov.
See, Henry is doing a great job of reading where the ball is going and being able to beat out Campbell, who we already know is a very physical player and is not afraid to use his strength and body to his advantage. But Henry's been doing a real good job of coming in and winning those balls first, or just getting a step ahead to be able to push that ball away.
Diego Lopez is receiving his final instructions from Tony Annan. So expect number 57 to check in soon for Atlanta United. And the high press from Weston wins the ball back in midfield. It's Kubetu's throwing. It's now Diego Lopez walks to the scorer's table. Referee says play on. Ball played into the path of Conway. And Conway couldn't skip past the double team. As the player is still down, and Atlanta United will sportingly play it out of bounds. As it's Kubetu who's down. It was another really meaty challenge, with the referee saying that the Atlanta United defender got the ball. Take a look here, and did show a little too much of it, and so both players were extended to stretch. The referee saying that it was a fair challenge from Delgado. Kubetu able to get up.
So far, he's looking a little bit better off than what we saw earlier, that tackle that forced Mejia to come out. So at least we can see he's walking on his own accord, being able to work it out. That's where you just don't know, with the two players colliding in. Maybe his ankle got caught up somewhere, just a little tweak. But it's good to see that he's able to up and move again.
So Kubetu walking, but walking a little gingerly. Looks to be all right. The referee telling him that because the trainer came out, he has to come off. And now here comes the substitute for Atlanta United, as it is Delgado who comes out, and on comes Diego Lopez. Marietta, Georgia native, is a U-17 international, has trained with Atlanta United 2 this year. Oh, what a player to bring off the bench for Tony Annan and Diego Lopez.
Looks like Lopez is shifting into that back line, or switching up top to the far side now, where it almost looks like they've got two forwards, adding in more to the attack in their hopes of trying to push forward and get a goal off quickly.
Into the final 10 minutes of regulation between Atlanta United and Weston FC. In a game of few chances. These teams have really canceled each other out through the first 80 minutes. Can either side find the breakthrough, or will we need extra time in Oceanside? So over the top looking for Zuniga. Ball falls from Mangarov. Mangarov brought down by Henry.
You can see 2-3 players making runs off the ball, looking for Mangarov to play that ball through, but he was fouled there, so they're going to get the free kick opportunity again.
Suzuki wanted to take it short. And now he's going to look to tease this one into the mix. Now that was not 10 yards. The play goes on. Mangarov will leave this throwing off for Zuniga. Gets it back. Cleared away by Henry. Into the corner for Lopez to chase, and shielding it out of bounds is Cuberu. So it'll be a goal kick for Rafael Glacier. It's Mejia being helped over to the bench from the far side. Was replaced by Panuncio. One player's name who we haven't said, Danielle, is Freitas. Atlanta have done a great job of cutting off the supply lines to him.
So at this point, Freitas has barely even touched the ball, if any, at this point. As you mentioned, a great job on the Atlanta defense to take him out of the picture and force everybody else on Weston to...
Mangarov's cross. And a heavy challenge behind, and a yellow card will come out. Well, the cross had already been played across by Mangarov before Cuberu flew into him. Now the trainer will come out to check on Mangarov. Well, you can tell these two teams don't like each other. It's been a lot of really heavy challenges. Well, the rivalry is real between Atlanta United and Weston FC. Nothing malicious, just came in too late.
And that's there. It's another yellow card given. At this point, we're running out of space on our sheets with how many cards that are being given off. And here it is, just a late slide. It looks like he was trying to decelerate as he was turning to see where the ball is being played.
Yeah.
Just hit the player too late.
It was a yellow card, but to his credit, Cuberu did try and pull out of that challenge.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate that, again, with this type of surface too, it is a bit slick, as we've seen. So even if he's trying to decelerate, sometimes the momentum's just going to carry you off. And we've seen another player going down, but luckily he's able to get up, and it's nice to see that he is walking on his own accord. So another opportunity here for Atlanta to try to have another set piece opportunity in hopes that they can put one in the back of the net and take a 1-0 lead late in this game.
Four players bunched to the top of the box, now making their way in. Claggett tried to direct it goalwards. Instead it comes back, and not a bad idea from Francombe. Was always tailing away from goal. So it'll be another goal kick for Weston in the 85th minute.
So at this rate, we're going to have quite a bit of time being added on. So who knows how much more time we actually have left in this game.
So we're heading towards stoppage time and then extra time, unless one of these sides can find a late winner. Conway's flying in the box, cross just beyond him, and Mangarov won't get there in time to keep it in.
There's the energy there of Lopez coming on, providing that extra spark, showing off his speed and the stride that he has to be able to beat his player. Takes a touch, gets that cross off just a little bit too far ahead of Conway to be able to get ahead on it and make something out of it.
Conway, 30 goals, 3 hat tricks this season, but just like his other number 9 up top, and Freitas going the other way, he's been frustrated this afternoon. Here he is getting to the byline and winning a corner kick. Second of the half for Atlanta United.
Again, Henry doing a great job of shutting him down this half, really getting Conway more and more frustrated as Henry is just taking that extra step and saying, you do this, I'm going to counter you with this.
So it'll be a corner kick for Atlanta United. Mangarov and Claggett coming short. Played across, the header skips into the arms of Rafael Glacier. He'll roll it out. Tellez on the far side. Into the middle for Musendin. Musendin spinning back with it. And this is Soriano. One back by Atlanta United. Lopez flights it in the corner, looking for the run of Claggett.
So Claggett, they're doing a great job to just poke the ball away, get it open, get it to Lopez, just the ball back. A little bit too much power on that ball.
One back by McDonald on the far side. This is Mangarov. Ball driven into the top of the box. The head is just wide.
huge one for them, being able to get that breakaway 1v1. Just unfortunate for him that it hit the wrong part of the bar and went out instead of going in.
And the short goal kick is won, and Conway is in, and Conway scores for Atlanta United. They have their noses in front, deep into first half extra time.
There's that target player cutting across, being wide open left in that box. And there's the quick read again. He intercepts that ball, plays it into the middle. Conway comes across, check, touch, pass it into the opposite left corner to beat Glacier.
And now Conway will get a yellow card for taking his shirt off in the celebration, but I don't think he'll mind. Atlanta United have the 1-0 lead, and it came out of a mistake trying to build out of the back.
That's where we saw Atlanta trying to have that high pressure, especially later in that second half, and that's where that high pressure pays off, where you read the hips of Glacier when he plays it out. He didn't get enough pace behind it, and that's where you're able to intercept that ball and quickly play in. Conway being able to cut in, being wide open left in the middle because the whole entire defense is spread out in an attempt to try to build out of the back.
Well, we needed over 100 minutes. This game finally has a goal, and it's Atlanta United leading 1-0 over Weston FC. Kubidoo, Panunzio, and it's slid away from him. Corner kick for Weston. Vasquez is coming short. Vasquez to send it in. Florio comes out, makes the catch, and somehow hangs on to it.
What a great grab there. Being able to get above three players surrounding him, three Weston players, surrounding him. And that's just Florio outreaching, grabbing that ball, and having the strong hands to secure it.
And now it's Atlanta United who almost gave it away in the back. And it will be a throw in for Weston.
Sir Panunzio is saying, where's my help? Where's my support? I'm trying to deflect that ball and nobody's there.
Vasquez punches it forward. Atlanta swarm to win it back. Long ball asking too much of Lopez, and he'll watch it roll out of bounds. That will do it for the first half of extra time. Jackson Conway opening the scoring. As Atlanta United took advantage of a mistake in the back, and Conway in alone on goal was never going to miss from that distance. And it's 1-0 at the turnaround in extra time.
That's where you see, if you're Weston, you're saying you still got 15 minutes left. There's still plenty of time, and they were able to break through and get a couple of opportunities, especially with that 1v1 there, with Pereira having the opportunity and just hitting the wrong part of the crossbar. So if I'm the Weston side, I'm saying we have this, we have the opportunity to try to tie it up again and maybe draw it to PKs. Atlanta now has the pressure to say, can we stay strong defensively, not let them break through, hold on for this 1-0 win and advance to Kansas City in July.
31 goals now in 27 games for Jackson Conway. His fourth of the playoffs. And Atlanta United 15 minutes away from booking their spot to Kansas City.
I mean, that goal celebration there by Conway, just showing that relief and that emotion of, yes, finally, because, you know, all game he's been looking for that ball and that opportunity, putting everything he can on the line, and that's where opportunity arose. Checked into that box off the mistake again, touch, finish, clinical.
Atlanta United looking for their first win this season in 3 times over Weston. You can see these players walking back onto the field for both teams. They are absolutely exhausted.
Well, as we've seen, a lot of this game has been in that midfield, and it's just tiring the more that you have to constantly chase or just go back and forth. No team, I mean, it's been pretty even in regards to possession and things like that, and that's where you wait for that one mistake where all that high pressure finally pays off for Atlanta with their first goal of the game.
So 15 more minutes. 1-0 Atlanta United lead. Conway will get us back underway. Atlanta United 15 minutes from championship weekend in Kansas City unless Weston FC score, and then we would need penalties to decide a winner. Send it over to the far side. There are 3 players getting ready to crash the box. Oh, nobody ran in, and so Atlanta will have a free clearance out of the back. Well, 3 players were camped out right at the top of the 18. The cross came in, nobody ran in after it.
And that's where maybe just being tired, not recognizing that visual cue of his foot's up, his hips are turned. That's when he's going to play that ball in and not making those runs in.
This will be a throw-in for Weston. Be taken by Morales. It'll be a free kick for Weston. Tellez. Morales will take it. Vasquez. Morales will go back with it for Darren Henry. Head coach Kevin Nyland saying that his side is at a performance peak both on the functional and physical elements, playing some very objective, synchronized football, and all his players are on the same page, competing with real intensity and composure. They will need all of those elements in these final 15 minutes to find an equalizer and try and force penalties, as this one comes through for Florio. And Florio is going to take all 6 seconds and try and sneak in a few more every time the ball's in his hands. Morales' clearance goes out of bounds. There'll be another throw-in for Atlanta United. The header from Lopez, too far for Conway, and it goes out of bounds. Vasquez's flick. Mangrove steps in. Brought down by Hambra. Batista Hambra. And it'll be a free kick for Weston FC. And another yellow card's going to come out, this time for Campbell. A chance for Weston FC to get players forward. Vasquez is setting this one up. It's Vasquez's service. Cleared away by Suzuki at the top of the box. Now Lopez battling for it. And it's squirted free for Mangarov. Unable to feed it through for Conway. Now threaded through. Florio off his line. And he beats Freitas to the punch.
That was a great job by Florio to come out and anticipate that, slide out, make that save, and disrupt the play where you saw if he had gotten a touch around Florio, that would have been an easy goal.
Both teams making changes at the next stoppage of play. Rayvon McGinn is getting set to check back in for Atlanta United. As he came on for Frank Home in the first half while he went through a concussion protocol. 2 players in between the benches for Weston FC. Jason Buckner is getting set to come on, as is Adrian Levy Salamanca. And now here come those changes. Buckner, the number 40, is up from the 15s where he had 13 goals this season. Has one at the 16-17 level as he replaces Musendin. Adrian Levy Salamanca making his 21st appearance of the year. He has 5 goals to his name. Well, McGinn didn't go in there as he came back and is now waiting for his coach's orders to go back. He's holding the substitution card in his hands. The play goes on.
Well, at this point, they're saying, let's hold off, delay the game some more. That way we have a substitution at another point in time rather than jumping and piggybacking with Weston's substitutions.
And that was painful as the legs were extended once again, and as both players made contact, their legs went back. And Eric Ortiz looks to be in some real pain. So another stoppage in play. We're going to have extra time at the end of extra time. You hope that both players are all right, as it was a scary challenge. It was a very fair challenge.
So right now, it looks like at least the Weston side see a player sitting up a little bit more. Atlanta, though, is still struggling to get back up on his feet. Looks like he's in a lot of pain, which is never a good sign to see.
It's an Atlanta United defense that is working on its 18th shutout of the season. The good news is that at least Ortiz is sitting up.
Looks like Pereira is able to walk off now, which is good. Walk around, be able to get off. On the other hand, though, looks like for Atlanta, he's getting carried off. Never a good sign to see that. So Ortiz may be done for the day, unfortunately, after just getting on. On the other side, it looks like Pereira will be able to return. Or maybe not.
So play back underway.
Good stop there by Clegent just to be able to disrupt the play. Another throw-in coming back for Weston side.
Player goes down in the box, and it'll be a free kick for Atlanta United. As Lupica Tondo has come in for Pereira. So unfortunate that either player is able to continue after that challenge.
See, Ortiz has already got the penny back on, staying off for the rest of the game. Then Pereira, although he was able to walk, looks like he just didn't have enough to continue for this match. So we see more challenges coming their way as teams are just getting more and more frustrated as we are nearing the end of this overtime.
Now this free kick will go the way of Weston FC. Can they find the equalizer from the set piece? Vasquez being told he has to move it back. Henry's getting up from the back. Vasquez, Mangrove's block, and he wasn't 10 yards, says the referee, and he gets a yellow card. So Alvarez will get to do this again. Now Mangrove is 10 yards. Vasquez steps up, chips it over, headed away by Atlanta United. And this will roll out of bounds for a goal kick.
A good defensive stop there by Atlanta. Not only did they head the ball to clear it away, they also pushed up quickly so that if the ball did go back, you saw they all had the hand up looking for the offside call if indeed Weston was able to get that ball.
So it'll be a goal kick for Florio. Atlanta United looking for its 18th clean sheet of the season. It would be enough for them to book their tickets to Kansas City and championship weekend next month. And this is Conway. Conway shoots tamely at Glacier at his near post. Helped on by Tellez. And getting back is Campbell on the far side. Correction, Rios. It's safety first as he'll just clear it over the touchline for a throw. Cross comes in. Florio looked like he had lost in the sun for a second, but it lands out of bounds, and it'll be another goal kick for Atlanta United.
Yeah, as we see the sun starting to set and get lower, and you're right, it looks like he put his hand up. Wasn't sure if it was indicated it was going out or to say, I can't see, and luckily enough for him, it went behind the net for him.
So it'll be another goal kick for Vincent Florio. The Douglasville native being told by the referee to hurry it up. And Mangrove will be whistled. Oh no, it's just going to be a throw-in. Rolls out of bounds. And we'll go the way of Atlanta United. But Claggett on the near side is playing like another defender. So Atlanta making sure that they have plenty of players back so they won't be beaten on the counter. They have another throw-in on the far side, though. And they'll be whistled for the push in the back. Free kick for Weston FC. And this will be another yellow card for time wasting.
This one going to Lopez here. At this point, almost every member on this team on the starting line or in the field currently is getting a yellow card.
I've ran out of spaces to write them down.
Lopez gets to join the yellow card club as we're getting very close to the end of this overtime period.
Apologize with the technical difficulties we've had. Danielle and I do not have a clock to go off of. That's why we haven't given you the time. Salamanca sleds it through. Just unable to keep it in bounds on the far side. It'll be another goal kick for Atlanta United as more seconds tick off this clock.
So at this point, it's unofficial, but I think we're approaching the 15-minute mark of the second half, but we're going to have added time due to those double injuries that we saw about midway through the second overtime half.
Over the top for Lopez to chase. In a battle with Henry. And Henry gets there.
It's a great read by Henry. You saw Lopez was going high, and he ducked and got low and got underneath to be able to explode out.
We now have the board for stoppage time. So we are into stoppage time, in extra time. And anywhere will do at the moment as it's stump clear once again. 4 minutes of stoppage time. About 20 seconds of those have elapsed. Have to get everyone forward now in a white jersey. Soriano slides it out wide. Soriano to play it in. They didn't get any elevation on it, and it's sent back the other way. This is Henry. Off of Conway. As things stand, is the hero Conway. And popped out of bounds by Claggett. Tellez, inside for Vasquez. Mangarov got a foot on it. Mangarov has taken off. It's played over for Mangarov. Mangarov over the keeper, but it's going to trickle wide.
Great pressure there from Glacier to come off his line, apply that pressure, and force Mangarov to make a decision. That one was to try to tip it over, just a little too wide on his part.
Referee checks his watch. Weston flying forward. There's space on the far side. Levy Salamanca to put in the cross, and what a block that is. And a clearance as well, right to the feet of Mangarov.
The Ambra there extremely upset, kicks the wall with that blocked cross.
123rd minute now. Chance on the far side, off the side netting. Glacier will have to take it quickly. Over the top, and that's why Claggett is sitting back. It falls for Tellez. Tries to get to the far side, and it's cut out by Atlanta United. And Lopez is all alone on the far side, and he can hold it. He's being told to go take it up to the corner. That route has been cut off. And Lopez doing a great job to just hold it on the far side. Now he's dispossessed. Weston will come forward again. Claggett gets a foot in. Now we're in the 124th minute. Last chance saloon for Weston FC. Oh, Campbell has been a titan at the back today for Atlanta United.
At this point,
there'll be another thrown for Morales. Cleared by Claggett.
At this point, there's not much time left, only seconds remaining as Weston tries to put everything they got into this last 30 or so seconds.
Soriano gets it over to Henry. Henry plays to the top of the box. It falls for Conway. Atlanta United are through to the semifinals of the U.S. Soccer Development Academy Boys 16-17 Championships. Needed the full 120 plus minutes, but it's Conway's goal in the first period of extra time that separates these two sides. Final thoughts, Danielle.
This is a really back and forth game. You can see players just collapsing almost afterwards with all the effort that they left onto this field. The big difference here was just one bad defensive build-out play, and Atlanta being able to take advantage of it, feed it off to Conway, able to take a touch, finish it in, and that's been the difference maker.
Well, Conway was starved of service for most of the game, got just one chance, and he took it. And Atlanta United, a side that at the 15-16s in their inaugural season won the championships, are back in the Final Four in their second go-around.
Here they go again, a chance to be back-to-back champions in this age group. They've got a tough battle ahead, though, as we saw earlier today with a team like Seattle coming in very possessive style. We'll see if they'll be up to the challenge as they go to Kansas City for the semifinals in just a few weeks.
Well, we know 2 of the 8 quarterfinalists. For the other 6, please go to ussoccerda.com. But for now, for Danielle D'Avanzo, I'm Mark Serber. For all of our producers, Alex Bousquet and Scott Cheney, saying so long from Oceanside, where it finishes in extra time. Atlanta United 1, Weston FC 0. Atlanta United off to the semifinals.